I got something really cool to show you guys, but we're gonna get to that here in a minute. So what is going on, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I have some very good news for the Blob Eye. So our front mount intercooler has shipped, our downpipe has shipped, our header has shipped. Everything is shipped at this point, so that means that we can start the car hopefully by the end of the week, if not very early next week. Get all the fluids like bled in here, get all the air out of the system. We're gonna have to do cooling, power steering. We're gonna have to bleed the clutch still and a couple other smaller things, but I'm so pumped, so pumped. I ended up swapping out the front mount intercooler that I got because I originally got the Cobb with the silver core, but that one was on back order for a while. So I swapped that with a black core Cobb front mount intercooler, so that way we can get that one just on the car. It'll just be a little more sleeper-esque, which I'm totally about. So that way no one will really see that we have a giant front mount on the car. But good news. That's good news, you guys. But I want to show you something like super cool. Do you guys know what's under this towel? Do you know what's under the towel? Because I'm going to show you guys. Those are our built EG33 heads, you guys. I am so excited for this. I'm not going to take these out of the plastic until we are ready to install these on the short block, but I am so incredibly excited. These are good for 1,200. 1,200! 1,200 horsepower. Oh, dear God. I am so pumped to get these on the car. I'm not going to flip them around and show you guys like all the ins and outs of these heads right now. I'll do a completely separate video on those, but you guys, 3.3 liters of Subaru goodness with these. Oh, I cannot wait. Our short block should ship out here soon, but this is like incredibly exciting. I am so pumped to get these back. We got like a very good, I might be able to turn, I think that's not happening. I'll probably show you guys right here. We got a pretty gnarly port on the intake side also. So when the time comes, I'll go over these like extensively with you guys, but I'm so pumped that these are back. Now, what are we doing today to Mr. Blob Eye here? Well, we got some stuff that we gotta do. We need to swap out the fuel pump for this AEM 340 liter. We need to get our Cobb LF bypass valve on there. We need to get our Killer Bee dual reservoir back up in the car. And then we need to figure out this battery solution. If I have to send this in there with some self-tappers, so be it. I just need a smaller battery than stock to be able to clear our charge piping in the car. Now, yesterday I did go to film a video, and have you ever had those days where you go to install something on the car and literally everything that can go wrong does? Like everything breaks, everything strips out, and you just hate your life. So yesterday I was trying to get the power steering pump put back up in here with the line. You might notice that that is not the OEM line. So this is IAG stainless steel high pressure power steering line. Only reason I swapped to that is because I couldn't fit the OEM one in there anymore, and I was really trying to save it, and then this happened. So I think I have a clip of me just demolishing this. We'll cut to that. I have royally f***ed up. Like, I straight up f***ed up. I don't quite know where I went wrong, but I went wrong somewhere. So I was trying to get the power steering line back on the power steering pump, and yeah, that's not coming off. I have fought with that for like 20 minutes. That's not coming off. I really wanted to try to reuse that line, but I guess I have to replace that now. But yeah, destroyed that in like 1,000 pieces, but not going to dwell on that too much today. I was supposed to get the O-rings for the injectors, but UPS delayed the shipment. I overnighted them, so hopefully those show up tomorrow with our header and front mount intercooler. But today, let's get rocking on this stuff. So I'm going to pull out the fuel pump that we put back in there last time, that Walbro 255. We're gonna get the fuel pump knocked out first because I just want to get that one out of the way. I'm not a huge fan dealing with fuel pumps, so let's get that one out and get it swapped out with our AEM. Fuel pump is swapped over to this AEM 340 liter per hour one. The Walbro would have probably done okay, but we probably would have been pushing that pump a little too hard and stressing it. So once again, thank you, Connor, for sending over this AEM pump. Pretty easy to install, guys. It's just one little hose right there, one electrical connector. I removed this bracket for the stock little fuel basket that went on here for the stock pump setup. So this will work just fine. Now we just got to get this guy back in the car. Look at that. That looks so good. They even give you like a little koozie. They give you a little koozie for the fuel pump. I'm not quite sure why they give you this koozie, but I didn't use it. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's needed. I think it just slides over the top for some reason. Don't know. Not going to use it. But our fuel pump's in. Let's get it back in the car. So fuel pump's knocked out, back seats are back in. You guys, we are like on the home stretch of getting this car like operational again. So next up, I'm gonna do a couple easy things. I'm gonna toss on one of your boys' Smeedia toe straps because I gotta represent myself, and I gotta throw my license plate on. I don't really care if you guys see my license plate. Like if you're driving, you'll see it anyways. If you look on Instagram, you'll see all my license plates. It's not like I really care. So let's get those thrown on. Let's get that rear temp tag pulled out of the car, and then we'll jump up here, start knocking out some engine stuff, and keep going on whatever else we can get knocked out today. And we got a license plate and a toe strap, which you can't even see from right here, which I kind of like, because I kind of hid it down here. And yes, it is functional for anyone who is asking. They're functional. If you want one, they're on sale right now too on the Smeedia website. Like, I think $25 is what I have them listed for. So if you want to snag one, support your boy, always appreciated. So toe straps on, license plates on. Next up, we're moving up into the engine bay. So the goal for today is to really just get everything knocked out that I can today. So that way we're only waiting on parts for to come in. So I need to finish this AOS right now. I'm waiting on a Y fitting to come in because my setup is going to be different than everyone else's. But you guys are still getting a video on that one, don't worry. But we're going to be focusing on over here. So we're going to get the Killer Bee reservoir up in here. We're going to get our battery figured out because we need to get the battery situation taken care of. So our boys over at Killer Bee sent us this awesome dual reservoir system. So it houses coolant on one side, windshield wiper washer fluid on the other, and then it's got this nice little like not digital, but like analog system just to see how much coolant is actually in there. I'm gonna take this fitting off. I have a different fitting coming that's gonna be a 90 for that'll fit a little bit better, but I wanna get this mounted back up in the car, and then we need to get this situation taken care of, and then we'll get that knocked out. All right, got our battery mount in here. So I ended up just riveting it down to the old battery tray. Like, it is solid, not going anywhere. I just did one rivet up here. I did 4 rivets, just to be honest. So battery tray is in. There was a little bit of trimming that you're gonna have to do to this. If you try to use one from a V8 chassis, like you gotta cut off that, you gotta drill a couple holes, rivet it down. I had lost my pop rivet tool. I don't know where it went, so I had to run to AutoZone to grab that one. I need to get this guy on a battery tender for the time being. I'll probably end up swapping over to a melee mount at some point in the future, but for right now and budget purposes, we're repurposing old parts. I also got the Killer Bee reservoir in, as you guys saw, so I'm gonna keep going on this engine bay, but I did want to show you guys this just because I think it's a little neat for any of you GD guys that might want to run a small battery. You can definitely fit one of these trays in there. You just got to drill a couple holes, rivet it down, and it's not going anywhere. Battery is now on a tender. All the wires, I redid all of that. So if this is something you guys are going to be doing, there is a small ground that you're going to have to move off of that main harness just down to the frame rail right down there. There's already a hole there for it. Originally it went right up here by the fuse box. Just relocate that down on the frame down there. Aside from that, you're just going to have to remove the bracket that holds the wiring in place for the battery, and everything else fits right up. So pretty cool little setup that also clears a ton of room up here for our front mount intercooler piping, which will be showing up tomorrow, which I am a little stoked for. So that kind of wraps up what we were doing over here with the extent of not getting that hose back going over to here, because we need to route a hose from here going all the way down there to our Killer Bee reservoir. But I'm gonna have to measure the diameter of that and get the correct hose in, so that way we can do that. Next up, I'm gonna get this AOS situation figured out a little bit more. If you're running a turbo inlet like me that does not have a provision for the diagnostic port that goes right back there, but like right above the turbo, you're gonna have to do something here. So you can either Y this fitting to go off of both of those breathers into one, or you can run that secondary breather if you delete evap over here to this other hose fitting. I don't quite know what I'm going to do yet. I do have the fitting on order, but I'm going to play with a hose, see if I can I don't even think I can fit another hose through there, to be honest. I'm going to play with it for a minute, see what's going on. I'm also going to get our bypass valve put on and then hook up the vacuum hoses to that, so that way we have our boost gauge ran and our LF bypass valve is already in the car. Guys, so this is literally as much as I can do today until parts get dropped off tomorrow. So tomorrow, like I said, our front mount intercooler, our header, and a couple other smaller goodies show up tomorrow. Once we get the, and the O-rings for the injectors, those were supposed to get dropped off today, but those got delayed. So we can get the injector and the fuel rail back in, the fuel lines bolted back up. And then tomorrow, we're probably just gonna focus on doing the front mount intercooler, and we'll do that in one install video. We'll do the header and all the other smaller goodies in another one. But today, this is literally all the smaller stuff I wanted to wrap up. So I got the power steering line that I did yesterday cleaned up. If you guys are curious on how to install that, there's just a fitting that goes onto the power steering pump and then a fitting that goes down on the rack. It's probably one of the worst installs I've done with the motor back in the car, but I do have the AOS almost wrapped up. I cannot finish it until I get those injectors back in the car, unfortunately. So that video is still on standby. I have the first like 3/4 of that video edited. We do have the battery in the car, which is good. I wanted to figure out this battery mounting solution, and I really wanted to use the smaller Odyssey battery just to help with clearance on the intercooler piping. We also got the good Killer Bee reservoir put in. We got the fuel pump swapped out. We got the license plate on and a solid Smeedia tow strap. But we're on the home stretch, you guys. It is so close. We're going to be able to start the car hopefully by the end of the week. Like I said, the downpipe shipped out today too, so we should get that by the end of the week. So before I end the video, there's something that I did want to touch on regarding this EG33 swap, which I'm so pumped that these heads are back and the block's coming back. But I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, Instagram, the Discord, and a couple other places of people saying they want to do similar swaps with the, like, any flat six, swapping it into a Subaru. I want to say a couple things, and I don't want to glorify swapping in a 6-cylinder and people starting a lot of these projects thinking that they're like bolt on, super easy, just like installing parts, and that's just, it's not the case. These swaps are expensive if you're going to the degree that I am to be able to do something like this. Like, it's something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I think it's a really cool swap, and I'm really excited to be able to share it with you guys, but the degree of how much work, time, and money goes into these swaps is a lot more than people think. Just to give you guys like a brief idea, just building that EG33 cost me right around $10,000. It is not cost effective to do these swaps unless you just want to do something different and you want to do something a little outside of the realm. But I just don't want people tearing motors out of their cars, trying to fit in like an EZ36, an EZ30, an EG33, any type of flat six into their car, and then the car just sit forever because they don't quite know what they're doing. Like, it is extensive. When I was going through the VA, not a lot of people watched that video, but I had literally sat there for probably realistically, it was probably 8 hours sifting through every single wire in the car to know what it does and labeling it, looking at a very terrible wiring diagram from Subaru for pinouts on ECU connections. Like, there is a lot of work and a lot of time that goes into these swaps. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I didn't want to glorify swapping your car with a flat six like this. It's not as easy as people might think it is. Like, yeah, you could do like a drop-in EZ36 in your car with just the stock ECU and things like that, and that's totally fine and dandy, but I'm getting off topic. I just wanted to throw that out there. It's a lot more work, time, and effort than you guys might think it is. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys on this one. So if you're excited to see the Blob eye run like I am, go ahead, hit that like button. Turn it black, blue, red, green, purple, yellow, green, all I can think of, orange. I can't think of a lot of colors right now. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. I don't know what you're waiting for, because this car should be making around 450 wheel horsepower when we are done with it, and this motor should be making right around 1,000. So a lot of good stuff coming up that you don't want to miss. But with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.